Hey, everybody.
Hello, friendos.
Welcome. Oh, the camera's like...
Hey, you have to get my whole giant body in frame.
What are you talking about? You're smaller than my torso to my head.
I suppose that's true. I am.
This isn't perspective. He is right
Yes, I'm right next to Ricky.
here.
You
You
can
can
see
see
our
it.
hands are very different sizes.
I am holding his head right now, and it's very small. We don't talk about it much because he's embarrassed about it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Have you noticed that Jeff rarely is in the shot with somebody else at the same time? That's why.
Yep, I have to wear 2-foot tall lifts in my shoes.
It's like Tom Cruise, where they build the little walkways for him to walk on for his shot, so that he gets an extra 4 inches out of it.
Yep.
Real thing, by the way. That's a thing that happens. It's got to be so... Nowadays, I don't think anyone would give even a quarter of a shit because he's Tom goddamn Cruise, but there must have been a point where it's like, well, we got to get the apple crates out again. It's Tom's turn to be in shot.
I mean, I also think that it's part of Tom Cruise's personal,
Yeah.
feelings on it, because I know that...
He evokes the 6-foot tall action megastar,
Yeah.
and he's 5'2". I think he's Beeble's height.
Yeah, he's very... I think he's 5'4". I don't know.
Okay, 5'4", 5'4" might be right too. Yeah, but yeah, he's a pretty short dude, but he definitely embodies that height really well. Of like, no, he's just a big guy.
Yeah, I mean, but they in the most
In that way.
recent movie, they used CG to muscleify his back.
Oh,
It's it's literally a glamour shot for Tom Cruise. Doesn't mean anything for the plot. It wastes 11 seconds in the movie.
But I'll be damned if
it's-
those shoulder blades don't
Yeah,
gesticulate beneath his skin.
Tom Cruise gets up and he's shirtless and he just stretches and the camera goes behind him and he does this muscle pose.
Fucking
and all
cheesecake
his
shot.
muscles are
Yep.
and you're like, yeah, that's all CG, and it's true.
Yep. Oh my
Also,
god.
hello everyone.
Hello. Sarah's downstairs. She may join us. She might not. She's wiped out right now, so she is having some Mac. But yeah, welcome after all that Tom Cruise discussion.
Yeah, welcome to the Tom Cruise pad.
Yeah, to the August 2020 Patreon live hangout. Have we when
So live.
I'm trying to remember the last month that we missed. And I don't mean we did it on the 3rd or 4th of the next month. I mean a month we entirely missed. It was at least back in
while,
2019. Actually, I can look this up right now. I have a folder where I make our various
Right on time. We start streaming and recording, and Goji
Time
comes
for-
up to take a dump.
big ass dump. I make the thumbnails each month as we go. So this year we haven't missed any. We actually got through the entirety of 2019 also. So the last one that we missed would have been December 2018, because before January it was July. 2018 was a bad year for us.
That's tough.
February and July.
I didn't join until 2019, right?
You were in December, November of 2018, because it was right at Mega Man 11, and that was at the end of 2018.
Okay, good. And it was me that turned it all around.
Yeah.
Effort of my own and no one else's.
It literally, I think, was to me kind of a New Year's resolution of okay, we need to, if we're gonna be doing this, we need to actually be living up to those promises, which includes stuff like one day we will finally get to. I keep forgetting the name because I mix up. I keep thinking Batman, but it's Superman Lives, the Nicolas Cage Superman movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a dramatic reading of that. We actually have another. Not that, but very similar thing that we're doing as a secret project, and you'll find out about it when it suddenly appears one day.
Out of nothingness.
But for anyone who's watching this after the fact who's not in here live, if you'd like to get in on this, you can head to patreon.com/dpadfm, DPADFM, and you can check out what we've got there. I need to update that badly. The description is ancient.
Yeah.
It's funny. John was talking about how it actually warmed his heart because he stumbled. He was looking through. He wound up on the Patreon page and he saw the video that we have there of me and him recording that from 2016 or something, maybe further back than that. And he was like, it's kind of a nice way to feel I'm still kind of actively a part of the thing and doing stuff. And now I'm just that video really does need to be updated though. So the next time he's around, I'll feel like, John, come here. We're going to do this now.
Yeah, I'm glad that we've removed John just as he was like, oh, what a heartwarming thing.
I know. All right, cool, John. Bye.
Oh,
Get
now
out.
that you
No,
mention
this.
it, let's get rid of that.
The more money you give Rick, the more likely stuff will be on time. I mean, unironically, though, that's kind of the eventual goal for this would be, so
Yeah.
there's phase 3, I guess, of the D-pad would be we make enough through YouTube and Twitch and Patreon and merch if we can, get the store up and going again. This is a test shirt, and it came out really good.
I never even fucking noticed that.
Yeah.
I've been wearing that, and I just, like, actually saw that.
It's one of... Actually, I'm going to move the...
Pretty good.
So I think this was Teespring, as compared to Redbubble, where this got taken down for copyright, which is fucking laughable given the shit that Redbubble leaves up, and also the fact that I did all of this by hand. Like, I'm gonna move this out of the way here. The ring in the background, it was done in 3D in Photoshop, and that was a pain, and it nearly destroyed all of my computing power. The banner, I think I did by hand. Like, that's a hand-drawn one. The only things that aren't entirely by hand are literally the fonts, which are fonts.
Yeah.
So... Also, on Redbubble, you have absolutely zero way to appeal a copyright-stricken piece of merch.
They take it down and it's goodbye.
It's
forever.
gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. Guess I'm looking for a new merch store if that's how that gets handled. So
and we've had a number of discussions lately about reviving merch store and sort of readjusting how we approach merch and what we sell, how we sell it, that sort of stuff. So
and
it's all in that like 2 to 3 months zone from now where we're like, yes, in 2 to 3 months, everything will be great.
At this point, I'm waiting for the holiday season because right around Christmas is that time of year where everybody's going on vacations, and suddenly it's like, oh, well, I'm going to be back home for a couple days, and that's several nights where I'm not editing and I'm not doing anything, but it's me and my laptop, and I can sit there and design up stuff and draw up specs and all that jazz. Christmas time is my favorite time to do projects because there's just suddenly a wealth of free time to do them. So, I mean, phase 3, essentially the goal is to monetize the D-pad enough that I can make enough, or I guess the D-pad can make enough that I can do it as a full-time thing. And then phase 4 is further improving things so that more people can be able to do this as an actual full-time thing.
Yeah.
Like, borderline, like, the dream would be something in, like, Rooster Teeth level, but, like, that's like phase 7 of any kind of possibility. I mean, something where it's like, all right, we have enough that people can have at least a few hundred, to 1,000 a month if we can do a thing the right way or something.
There's a very big gap between the D-pad can pay for a pizza for us this weekend and the D-pad can pay for our car insurance.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
Yep.
Biscuit, I feel like I did get your address for some reason, but if not, then DM me with it because I've been keeping track of all the...
I think I have... Stuff. I think that there's 2 Steam games that I still have to deliver. One of whom I know I was waiting for the response for. You have to do a free... Steam really fucked up how they do game gifting.
Yeah, gifting stuff now really sucks.
It was already hard. It is much harder now. So you have to be friends with somebody. So I had to wait for friend request to finish. So I think there's 2 more I have to give out. Alxbrit, I think... I may get this wrong, and I'm just kind of spitballing because I would obviously double check before I actually did this. But Alxbrit, were you the one who won the game, or was that might have been Arcasius?
The signed copy of the game.
Yeah,
I can find out on my.
Oh no, that was Artemu.
Artemu. Okay.
Because we have that, and we were gonna try to ship stuff together, but at this point, I might just like, if there's a day where I have free time, I might just hit up the post office because it's just a game in a disc and it's sitting right there.
We haven't yet done the Discord one, largely because the top of the diorama thing printed out pretty easily and got painted and stuff, but the 3D model for the lower half is a video game model and not a production model, so it has all this geometry
sneaky with that
on the inside and stuff. So Dave had to start learning a bunch of Blender to get rid of internal geometry where it was trying to print 2 1-pixel wide planes throughout the whole thing, and it was
super fucks up the structural integrity of it. And
he called you printing spaghetti. It just becomes like this big mass of spaghetti,
garbage in the middle there.
Around. Yeah. So Dave and Teddy have been working on that, and hopefully pretty soon they'll have like a proper model. But I didn't want to do the drawing for the giveaway until I was sure that I had the whole prize. I mean, the rest of all the giveaway stuff and those sorts of things, shipping is a big question nowadays, both in terms of price, reliability, and timing. And us being able to go to a post office or a FedEx place with, 20 things and I'll shotgun them out like that. But
I think the biggest problem for me with doing it right now is at least I don't know how this is for other people's post office, but the one that we have here, somebody, I think it was Paperclip Killer. If I got that wrong, then I apologize. But someone was sending us something. I think it was a piece of art, and they had asked ahead of time, "Is like, is it cool if we do that? Is that still a PO box?" But like, yep, that still works. But it takes about 10 minutes to get to the post office. Then you stand outside in line, social distancing, because they do one at a time. And the one time I've successfully made it into the post office, it took approximately like an hour and a half to get into it. And I'm just like, I don't know that I have like 2+ hours to just
go stand outside the post office.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm going to have actually starting next Friday, I've got a week off going through the following Friday. I just took the whole week of Labor Day off, Labor Day week off. So that week it'll be easy for me to, like, I'll just pick a day and I'll go and do that, because that'll be easier then.
Because there's a number of things, in fact, in a pile that like are ready to go, but they just need to be boxed and shipped, and I have most of the addresses. But the one that's outstanding that I know that I've held back on is the Discord one. Because again, I didn't want
you want it to be like done and be like, here it is.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't want to do the drawing and not be able to send the full product. So yeah, hopefully that's getting fixed up soon. Teddy's been messing around with a bunch of settings and 3D printy stuff, and yeah.
Cool. Well, why don't we jump into games, and we'll see what spins off from there, as it usually do. Updates. Let's see. Right off the top, Ring Fit Adventure. There's this little teeny baby moth that's been annoying us every 10 to 15 minutes for like the last 2 hours now. And you see it, and then it just kind of, it's just gone. You're like, fuck. Ring Fit Adventure, I think this is the last time that we're going to have an update on that during a Patreon hangout, because we are about, I think, 2/3 of the way through World 22 out of 23. And barring World 23 being this thing where it's like everything is like 15-minute long plus workouts,
getting close to done.
Yeah, we'll be done. My estimate is sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know exactly when, but I would assume 2 to 3 weeks. It's going to be a photo finish. I've been kind of musing on this in a lot of the videos lately, but it's going to be very, very close to figure out whether it's going to be more episodes of Ring Fit Adventure than Breath of the Wild, which is our current record on the channel.
Yeah.
Because today was day 150. So that plus the rhythm game episode and the like warm up episode is 152. Breath of the Wild is 165. So it's going to be incredibly close on that. CJ does want to do. I think both CJ and Lindsay have expressed interest in Trial of the Sword, and I was interested in doing that as well. So there may be like 2 more marathonish episodes of that. I don't know that we're going to make like continuous content out of it, though. There's really. The only other thing that would ever happen is like a Korok and Shrine like mega stream or something like that. But like again, that would be like one thing, not several.
Yeah, I think using our weapon of Twitch as a way to deliver sections of games, we've gotten better at that, and it's worked out pretty well, especially in some cases where we're like, we don't want to add another 80-hour Let's Play with everybody gathering together for it. Like, if we can stream it, it's easier.
That was kind of the reason, too, that I did Namco Cross Capcom, which we'll get into in a little bit, was like, we can't do this as a Let's Play. It'll straight up, even if there were no delays at all, it would be, I think the closest estimate was like 21, 22 months. And it's like, that's just
on
not
a regular
happening.
Release schedule.
Yep. Even doing half-hour episodes would still be most of a year. And that's assuming there were 0 delays, 0 missed weeks. And it's like...
too much of a year.
Yeah, that's way, way too much. So, yeah, that's not going to be a thing. But, yeah, Ring Fit Adventure, we're coming down to the end of that. I'm expecting it'll be done in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then we'll be good there. It should be very close. I think there will be more than 160 episodes. I don't know if there'll be more than 165. It's going to be a real close call on that one.
Mm-hmm. We celebrate as things go off the schedule too. Yeah,
Ring Fit Adventure is such a double-edged sword for me, because I'm glad that I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I feel more fit, even if like everything that's been going on is kind of doing its damage back against it. I do feel more fit, even if I'm not losing much weight. I'm putting on muscle and replacing some fat, but Muscle is heavier than fat, so those weigh-ins are not that impressive.
I mean, the fact
since
of the
March.
matter, you can improve your cardiovascular system
Yeah.
and your general health while still gaining weight.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely,
you
for
know,
sure.
You probably are a more healthy, energetic person for having done it, even if you don't lose an ounce.
I am
Like,
significantly fitter and healthier now than I was in January, without question.
yeah.
And I love that by doing the series, it's a good motivator and it keeps me honest and it has me do that on a regular basis. However, it is a solid 30 to 40 minute block that I have to find in the day.
Yeah.
And then I have to edit it, which doesn't take long, but it does take time. Weigh-ins take more than that. Comparison shots take more than that. And then I have to export and upload it. And by the end of this is like an hour to 2 hours worth of actual time that's taken up by just this every day.
Oh, easily.
And so like the time that is sunk into it is like just a lot.
I mean, I think that the point of the Let's Play on the channel was A, to show the game off and to Let's Play it.
Yeah.
And B, for, some personal fitness stuff for you. And we've kind of gotten through the game. Like, it's almost done. And yeah, no new game plus, please, as Biscuit has mentioned.
If it was ever going to happen, it wouldn't be until minimum next year.
Yeah.
And by then we would already be having other stuff knock off the schedule anyway. So the difference would be substantial even there anyway.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm not committing to doing it. It was more just kind of like if I'm going to do it, there will be several months off first. So like just blanket statement, once this is done, I'm not even remotely entertaining doing it at all this year.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
What happens beyond that, I don't know, but it's not.
My thought is that you may as well just take out a lot of the time and effort. If you continue playing it going forward after having beat, quote unquote, the story, if you continue playing it going forward, everyday episodes are not essential, and in fact, it'd probably be better for your exercise time and life.
Do like a weekly montage kind of thing or something,
not
like
have to record every day that you do Ring Fit, like once a Friday or something. Maybe do like this was the last weeks of
something like that
playthrough, but that's as close
but again,
as I'd say would be worth getting to, because there's no new content in the game.
Exactly, not that I'm aware of anyway. And that's the thing, is like I'm not planning on doing it. It's more saying it out loud, because on the 2% chance that it were to happen, that I'm not getting blindsided by folks being like, whoa, wait a minute, where is this coming from? It's like, well, I said that it was a possibility, but that it wasn't a likely one, because it isn't. So that's the thing. I'm not strongly considering doing it. It was more like, hey, if I decide that I want to do this again as an active thing, then this would be how that would work, kind of deal.
Alex, that is the slippery slope of creating anything on YouTube, is that then you begin to look at your life through the lens of, oh, I could create content with this. Like a couple weeks ago, I like smoked some meats and was in my backyard and was like, oh, I should get a camera and do this. And I had a beer in my hand, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to do that. No, not right now. Slippery slope.
Yeah, and it's tough because at the same time, it's not just that your brain is so wired to do stuff for content, but it's also like, hey, I can just do this thing I'm already doing, and maybe it would be popular, I guess.
I mean, playing games on the D-pad has replaced playing a number of games on my own, but that's a good thing, because, now I'm playing video games, but also for the express purpose of recording, and it's still just as fun.
It's a great excuse to do it.
Yeah, I'd be yelling the same things to myself if I was at home playing it. So
yeah, I think I'd be less coherent with mine. That's about the only difference.
Nobody, I want to do up. So one of my goals was to get Dustin, being a proper chef. Dustin, like bringing him in and doing some sort of meat smoking tutorial / video / like. I thought it would be funny to contentify everything. If we're doing an 8-hour smoke on meats, can we beat the bouncer in those 8 hours? Or like, well, yes, because it's much shorter than that. But you know what I mean? Like, pick a game that's somewhere around the 6 to 8 hour time to beat range and smoke meats while also trying to speed run.
See, that would be actually kind of amazing, honestly. That would be a pretty cool. Do that as like a marathon stream or something.
And then at the end, we can either celebrate with smoked meats or softly sob into our smoked meats and feel better about it anyway.
Oh man, yeah, we're trying to get Dustin in more often. Both Dustin and Lindsay have expressed interest in like trying to get in here more often.
Yeah,
it's tough right now because of stuff,
my sweet
but
Lindsay.
we are figuring out how to make that happen. So hopefully, the best thing of all about 2020 is that we'll start getting some familiar faces back again.
Yeah. I'm knocking shit off the checklist.
That too, especially. Speaking of which, Link: The Faces of Evil.
Oh my god.
We're doing CDI games, which is not a surprise to anyone in the Discord, but thankfully was a surprise to at least a few of the other 14,000 people who watch our channel
on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, that was something. So I have had that CDI, the CDI we're using, the one that we unboxed, sort of. I bought back in
I did nobody. I'll let them know.
2018, I think. I did see the comment. Yes, that's such a weird and unintuitive. I don't know how the game was expecting that. It must have been so in an actual Zelda game. That would be something that'd be in the manual, but also probably said by a character. But it'd at least be in the manual. So like maybe it would normally be in the manual in this too. But like I don't know. But yeah. So I've had the CDI we're using for about 2.5 years, I think. I bought it very shortly after we moved into this apartment because I knew that at some point we didn't have we knew that we were going to do some kind of post game, and we knew that it was going to at some capacity involve the CDI games. My big thing was at the time I was considering like emulating it was the original plan because I was like I used to watch a lot of. Are you okay? What's going on?
I pulled a lever which I thought was height adjust, and the chair started to eject me forward.
Oh.
It's like, what?
Is the like lean forward and back
pull
thing?
This, it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
Oh yeah. So, I used to be no. I'm just like, where the hell was I? I used to watch a lot of AVGN. I watch less because he produces less, but I used to watch a lot of AVGN, and he did a CDI video, and he talked about the cost of that, and it was, if I remember correctly, about $1,000, if not more, and he had to buy 3 CDIs, and I'm just like, that's the horror story right there. It's like, I need to keep an eye out, similar to how I did for the Mega Man wristwatch. It was like, I just got to keep an eye out and see if I get lucky, and then I found a CDI that was going for like $200, and I was like, okay,
yeah.
All right, I could spend $200 on a maybe, and Sarah is an electrical engineer, or at least that she majored in electrical engineering. Someone's like, okay, if there's even just like a buggy wiring thing, then we might be able to fix that too. So like, there's a lot of things that we could do that would maybe make it work. So I found that. I found Link: The Faces of Evil for about. It was like $40. It was a surprisingly low amount. I found Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon for I think $90, which was kind of what I expected for that one.
It's not unsurprising.
The one that bummed me out was Zelda's Adventure and it's been like this forever. It was some number of hundreds of dollars, and I don't remember how many, and I will have to go back and look. But that's the one that everyone's kind of been aware of as being like the expensive one. But like, yeah, that's the thing. Is like, if you know much about these games at all, then you would know that would be the most expensive one. There's so little information about it out there anyway. But so my original plan was to emulate, and then after we moved in, I was kind of poking my nose around, and I was like, I could do this entire thing for like $600. I was like, all right, that's a lot of money, but way less than I thought I would have to spend.
Yes.
So I was like,
it also kind of like, we have a very good collection of games and hardware.
Yeah. Oh,
at
yeah.
the D-pad here, so like it kind of builds the collection anyway.
yep. So I figured like, let's go for it. Let's just do it, and then we'll go for it. And so yeah, I've had that for years. It stayed in that weird I was gonna say masking tape, packaging tape,
yeah.
like that brown packaging tape, packing tape. It was like that for about 2 years before we finally unboxed it. We unboxed it. The irony of how everything lined up is hilarious. We unboxed it back in February.
Yeah.
On the same day that we unboxed the Leapster.
Yep.
And then that was the weekend where that was the weekend in February. I was like, all right, let me see if I can get CJ and Dustin down here and we can do Battle Quest with the original crew. And we couldn't make it work. And we went, you know what? It's fine. We'll do it next time. And then it became March, and then everything happened, and the world ended.
Did we do a second unboxing of the Leapster?
We did, yes.
Okay,
because we did. Me and Jeff and Ben did a second unboxing of the Leapster because that one actually came in the real box, like the box that it originally shipped with, and it was a much better quality Leapster. I kept the like best of weird reaction moments in from the first one.
Yeah.
We didn't do that with the second CDI. Spoiler, I guess it's not really a spoiler. I bought a second CDI because we needed an actual controller, and the controller plus the CDI was actually cheaper than the first CDI, and was cheaper than buying that controller by itself somehow. So I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna have two CDIs. So we have a backup CDI that I think we're gonna switch to when Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon comes along, because I want to know if it's going to have the same laser issues.
Yeah, if it's just a disc thing, then that's one thing. But if it truly is the laser losing its steam, then that's how lasers are made, right? With steam.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So if it loses its steam, then we have a backup, CDI and the CDII.
But so the CD2
slightly different.
They're different. There's actually about 10 different models of the CDI.
Yeah.
And they all have different specs, and they all have different abilities to play games and store data and interact with your TV and interact with controller inputs. It's actually shocking that it didn't do worse than it wound up doing, because it was just a mess. I think that one is a 450 or a 470, and I think the one in the other room is like a 270. I would have to check. I don't know.
They look different. I haven't actually.
Yeah, there's like a label that's on the front of it. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so also Philips wasn't the only one to manufacture them. There are other CDIs that are not made by Philips. Mm-hmm. I think Philips made the original spec, and then a few, like I think Mitsubishi made one, which isn't too uncommon. They've made a couple like off-brand consoles before.
There was a little spate of that in the video game world where first-party console manufacturers were like, I don't know, if you want to make a fancy console, then go for it. Like there's a moderately famous, super dope-looking GameCube. You seen that?
The
one?
iQ?
Maybe.
I think it's the iQ. That's the one. I think it's sold in
like
China.
Shiny silver and stuff like that.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. I think it sold. I think it sold around the world, but not in very high quantities.
Yeah.
It was just more expensive than a GameCube because it had a couple of extra features. Like I believe it had external CD player controls.
Oh! I think I know what you're talking about.
It's kind of like a hybrid between the GameCube and a couple of other pieces of technology. Like it had a clock radio in it or something.
Yeah, there are a few that have done. Yeah, there are a few that have done stuff like that where it's like it's a way different machine ultimately, but it does do the basic like stuff in there.
It has the heart of a GameCube in it, but a bunch of like random other shit on top.
And then you have stuff like in Brazil, Tectoy has been the manufacturer of the Sega Master System since 1989. I think it's further back than that, but I want to say 1989. I think it might be older than that. But it's still in production today, more than 30 years later. Tectoy still produces and manufactures the Sega Master System.
Panasonic Q.
Panasonic Q. There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tectoy still produces and manufactures the Sega Master System, and it's an official thing. Sega's had a deal with them forever, and it still, to this day, regularly sells more units on average in Brazil than modern consoles do globally. It's
I love how
so weird.
Strange, like, shout-outs to Brazil for keeping the Master System alive.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's wild. Yeah. It's kind of amazing. If anything, I'm kind of surprised. I bet that's not... So the Genesis was obviously a lot more popular than the Master System was outside of Brazil, but I have to wonder if that's the reason that they haven't even considered doing a Master System Junior or whatever, the same way they did with the Genesis and the Game Gear, because they're like, if we do that, the viability of the Master System as an actual console in Brazil goes to zero.
Torpedo any further sales.
Yeah. I mean, does Brazil get any new games right now? I don't know that they actually manufacture new games for it. I think it's just the original set from 3 decades ago at this point. Man, I think.
It'd be interesting to find out.
There's like some there's constantly like a fan developer thing that'll make a Super Nintendo game or Genesis game stuff today.
It is not hard to make the internals of a cartridge nowadays.
Yeah. Especially now that the BIOS for some of those systems is now... I don't think it's necessarily public domain exactly, but you can act like you have. There's a weird thing when it comes to like computer hardware, like you have the rights to protect and stuff, and like those rights go away after a certain amount of time. That's why Retron and Hyperkin, the makers of the Retron, have been kind of sitting on an N64 version because they're waiting for the patent on the BIOS or the copyright on the BIOS or something
to lapse,
and then they'll be able to make that because they don't have a deal with Nintendo, obviously.
The classic SCPH 1001 PlayStation BIOS. The day it became
ding, there it is.
No longer copyrightable. It was on every website in the world.
Yep. And it's like, here you go, everybody, have fun.
Yeah. I think it's SCPH 1001.
I don't know. Not sure.
I don't remember.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the Game Boy Advance one, I don't know. I really don't know. It's also possible that the Game Boy Advance one is derivative enough from the Game Boy that they were able to like either reverse engineer it, or they made some deals with like the Visual Boy Advance people, because I know that a lot of these run off of just emulators that are cooked in a certain way. It's complicated. I don't know a lot about the inner workings of that stuff, but we're playing the CDI games. Yeah, my hope is that that by the time we come back for the September Hangout, we'll be close to done with the Faces of Evil.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll actually be done. I think we'll still be playing it, but I think we'll be like 2/3 or so of the way done, probably. So,
well, I have been massively enjoying them.
Yeah.
So
my
far.
God, it's so weird. It's incredibly difficult to play.
It's like it's a mess and it's laughable, but it's also weirdly charming to me for some
It
reason
is.
in a lot of different ways.
It's kind of this like innocent sort of like if as a 13-year-old I tried to make a Zelda game and it came out like The Face of Evil, I think I'd actually be kind of pleased with the
I'd be
out.
like, fuck yeah, I nailed it.
But yeah, those games are like, from what I understand, these games are in the 4 to 5 hour range generally. So yeah, you're pretty good. Have this sword. That's the weirdest fucking interaction. I don't even know.
It's like 10 people who never spoke to each other made the game and just kind of combined all their parts at the end, and they were like, oh.
It was like, oh shit.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's significant. All that I've ever seen of the CDI games are the stuff that other YouTubers have done for like video essays for it. So AVGN did, I think JonTron might have done something with it at one point. That might be it for me, actually.
I think I've only had ever seen the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Or seen them referenced or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't go seeking out, videos of ancient, and rare Zelda games or something like that. I think I just kind of happened upon seeing some footage at some point. But I like as soon as I knew we were gonna do them, then I intentionally stayed away from it.
I've been doing the same thing. So the Game Grumps Sonic 06 Let's Play is are they over themselves? There was a point where they were really kind of offended at having their videos be called Let's Plays, even though that's literally what they are. There was a point very early where they actively did everything in their power to keep people from calling their videos Let's Plays, which is like, it's not like a dirty word. It's literally the content you make.
Yeah.
But I watched their Sonic 06 Let's Play, and it's one of the funniest fucking series on the internet as far as I'm concerned. And I loved it, and then very early into the Supersonic Let's Play, I was like, I need to stop watching this because I want none of this to be in my system by the time we get there, because I want every last ounce of my reaction to be sincere and genuine and not just a rehash of the Game Grumps version.
I still have no idea how Pokemon Sword and Shield ends. I have no idea how the end of the plot. People keep trying to tell me, and occasionally they're like, "Oh, you remember at the end of Sword and Shield?" And I'm like, no, please. It's becoming difficult, but
oh my God, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to getting to the end of some of these things. Also, yeah, Pokemon is one where I was originally anticipating like, oh yeah, these will be some of the first things to clear. They'll probably clear it before Ring Fit Adventure does, and it's like there's just been so many delays with it. Just timing's been tough.
Well, yeah, between Ben's changing schedule and me,
not living here.
Yes, well, that specifically, but also our weekend timings and COVID. We early on we really until we kind of got a handle on who our social groups we were interacting with, and are you working from home constantly? Yes.
Yep.
Am I working from home constantly? Yes. Okay, now like it's not a risk, that kind of thing. We just kind of like just pushed everything along.
That first like 2
4 to 6
months.
Yeah.
That first 2 months from like a management standpoint on my side, I'm sitting there going like, oh no.
Yeah. Rick's like, hey, you want to come over for video recording? And I was like, I don't know. And Rick was like, yeah, I also don't know.
Yeah.
So
I think it took until about like May before we actually before we had you come like in for stuff.
yeah,
I think
that was the peak biscuit, was when Dustin reacted to all our good names. I mean, that's why Ben plays at all.
It's just for the silly ass names.
Yeah.
And the CDI games are once again an area where it's like, hey, not a lot of people have actually done this, so it's kind of cool to be able to get in on that. Yeah. And like, I think we still have the only complete. I mean, this may have changed in the last like 2 years since we did it, but at the time we were the only full Let's Play of like Rockman strategy, and we're still, as far as I'm aware, the only actual video of the Mega Man 2 wristwatch LCD game. And like, I love being able to get really rare shit in there and be like,
the only
there we go,
semi-legible playthrough of Sonic Shuffle.
Oh God. It seems like everybody's got some kind of issue with that game. I think it's just a game that resists emulation. There are games that are actively difficult to play with emulation.
There's a lot of, I mean, in that era of consoles before they all just straight up became computers, when a lot of the ICs and stuff were being developed for the systems and alongside the systems, there's a lot of weird like functionality that goes in there that you'd never put into like an emulator, or you can't really predict in an emulator.
Yeah.
It's like analog components in the system sending signals and doing timings oftentimes. Like games often use that to their advantage. Mm-hmm. Like weird idiosyncrasies of the systems, they built it around that because they're like, oh, we can just use like
stop and swap, or stop and swap for Banjo-Kazooie, which didn't wind up being a thing. That was the intent, was all right, when you turn off, when you reset or turn off an N64, there's this 10-second period where it actually retains through battery life memory of whatever's in there.
Before the SRAM
so if you do
dies
that
out.
and switch it and then turn it on, and then you'll be able to, it'll connect. But then like right before Banjo-Tooie came out, Nintendo, I forget if they had changed how they did it entirely, or they actively like locked out that data in a certain way. I forget the details of it, but like the later models, that's what it was. The later models just like cut it down to I think 1 second. They're like, that's wildly unreasonable.
Yeah.
Shit. So the feature was gone until the Xbox 360, like Xbox Live Arcade versions. But
there's like features and emulators where you can introduce uncertainty because the processors weren't fully error checked, and they worked at very high speeds and occasionally had hazards on certain lines and stuff. And like that's part of the actual gameplay. I mean, there's probably some random number generator stuff where occasionally it does something insane, and the
one in every
were like, cool.
Yeah, it rolls a 100,000 side die and goes, if you get less than a 14, then just add a 1 randomly to some piece of data that's in here and just see what happens.
It expects the number 1 to 100, and a million times in a row it does the number 1 to 100, and then at one point it gets to 2 million, or
you're like, whoa,
overflows,
shit.
and you're like, oh, whoop.
Yeah. Just backing up through the thing for a little bit. I did love, being the only Let's Play of Rockman Strategy was definitely part of the drive on our side too, of like, we really gotta finish this. Yeah, because like we did Gold Empire for 40 minutes and we're like, all right, we're good. But we did strategy. We did the whole fucking thing, partly because we actually figured out how to play it, which was useful.
That was the most massive change, was starting to understand what some of the buttons and functionalities did.
Understanding how to use Rush effectively was a big one, too.
Oh, my God. The most OP ability in the game.
It's crazy.
Get
Here,
me an item
dig up
every
items
turn.
4 times in one round.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It was nuts. The Game Grumps thing, I think the issue with theirs, and I ran into this briefly, is so I think they're running it off of a Dreamcast emulator. When you do that, the VMU is in a separate window on Windows, and I assume if you've got a Mac-based one, it would do the same. So if you full screen it, which I suspect they do if they're emulating it, they're going to full screen it on whatever screen they're watching, it means the VMU is going to be hidden. And in Sonic Shuffle, when you emulate it, the VMU is the only way that you can see what cards you have, because for some fucking reason, even in one-player mode, you don't see the cards that you have. You need the VMU. So it's like
What a fun decision.
did the Grumps kind of fuck up by not catching that sooner? I guess, but boy, is that a much bigger fuck up on Sonic Team's part. Like, good lord.
Yeah, what a terrible move from the actual developers.
Oh man. But yeah. So. Oh yeah, we were doing Rockman Strategy and Sonic Shuffle at the same time. That was
What a month.
That was mid 2018. 2018 was a rough year because we just had these giant series that refused to end, and we had massive breaks because we just couldn't bring ourselves to do more of them. At least Sonic Shuffle had the benefit of like at least we'll have some silly shit to laugh at when the text inevitably fucks up.
The number K, Numger K,
the Numger K. God, those were weird.
Yeah. That'd be good for a
Battle Network 4, I think, was indeed 2018. And in fact, I want to say a little of Battle Network 5 was also 2018. 2018 was just a rough year. So 2018 was Battle Network 5, which was arguably worse because that was just me.
That was so one of the reasons that like I initially was like, "Yo, let me get in on Battle Network."
Yeah.
Wasn't because I was like, man, Mega Man is my favoritist, or like I played every Battle Network game ever. I really hadn't.
Yeah.
I had just been watching the Mega Man Battle Network 5
It was so
Let's Play
tragic.
and being like, this is like psychology right now.
Yeah.
This is a man
I
trapped
could
in
feel it.
a cage of his own design.
Nothing
at
is
some
weirder
points.
than like it's such a cold naked realization when you're because you get zoned in on a video game and like, oh, you motherfucker, son of a bitch, and then like all of a sudden it's like, you know, this is gonna sound dumb, but it's like your third eye just kind of opens and you suddenly are just aware of your surroundings and what you're doing, and you just kind of like look around and you're like, oh wow, this is really sad.
No, it's true. Yeah.
Like I'm losing it over a video game in an empty room. And it's just like you just kind of the awareness all at once, just you stop and you're like,
yep,
okay, let's do this battle again.
And I started to like the Battle Network series through 5, having like watched it on the channel, which is why eventually when 6 came up, I was like,
let's go.
I'm in on this. Like,
oh man,
that we need a second person first of all.
God bless Tab.
Oh, sweet Tab.
Tab and Mr. Mock.
Yeah, heroes.
They live on. They live on. I still love the fact that Dex and Tab were so easy to just be like, oh, it's Bud and Zach. Like, ta-da, they just immediate translation to Star Force.
See, I may have realized when where my inspirations for Mr. Mock's voice came from a couple days ago.
Yep.
You remember Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
Yes.
The Grim Reaper?
Oh, wow.
He has that weird, unplaceable accent.
It's supposed to be.
The wigs.
It's meant to be Swedish, I think, right? Because I think Sweden is where the Seventh Seal was from originally.
I don't know if he was meant.
Actually, it might have been Denmark.
Yeah,
I think it's Scandinavia,
I don't know
though.
if the accent is meant to be from anywhere in particular.
Yeah.
But it is that it's that weird Middle European, Southern Scandinavian. Like,
yeah.
Where are you from?
Loosely Viking. It was Sweden.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay.
Got it. Nailed it.
Well, yeah.
Like this. This is how you do hammers, right? You hold it by the head and you do the.
You put the hammer up against the wood and you
know,
hold the nail.
Well, I guess you know what? I bet you could get away with holding a hammer. Like, it probably feels not great, but no, you know what? Swinging it this way gives you much more of the whip kind of move, and that gives you more force. But regardless,
I can't wait for Star Force 2. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh man. Gonna be good.
But yeah, I like watched a clip of Bogus Journey recently, and I was like just kind of, you know, idly sitting at my computer and like not totally out of it, and then I heard the
armrests were way down here though.
Yes, this is weird. I heard Death talk, and he was like, "Hey guys," and I was like, "Mr. Mock,
you're real?
It's you?"
Oh god.
Pedo Daddy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh man. Jesus. I should have jumped on that and been like, I think I'm going to change my name. Just like, you know what? This doesn't really work out for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's going to be
God.
weird to call him
Geo.
from now
I think
on.
because, in particular, both your Omega Sis and my Sonya have really settled into to like Dio. And you got the Dio. But like Geo is like, you realize like, into it. And
different sounding name.
same thing for Sonya. Geo. Like, it's just kind of like, it feels wrong now because we've been saying Dio so much.
It's weird for me seeing the first 3 letters of my name and a name I often used on old RPGs and stuff, Geo.
Yep.
Instead of, Geo Stellar.
Geo Stellar. Which is like, man, they couldn't have made a punnier name there if they tried.
Yep.
Oh, man. And yeah, the FM King. There's like 9 ways to pronounce it. We just kind of goofily went like Cepheus.
Cepheus, yeah.
Just because of the Tom Dubious thing. Yeah, there we go. But I think like Cepheus and like Cepheus and Cepheus or something like that. Japanese name is Hoshikawa Subaru. Okay.
Wait, what?
Cepheus actually works. Okay.
Geo Stellar's name in Japanese
Geo's is. I thought
Subaru?
I thought you were saying the FM King's name was that. I was like, that's a really weird one.
Yeah.
Milky Way Pleiades. Pleiades?
Pleiades, yeah. His name in the U.S. version is Destructo Killer, but his name in the Japanese version is Eric Andre Stevenson.
Oh, that's an adorable name.
Yes.
It's named after our 2 heroes, Andre Stevenson and Eric.
Just Eric.
Yep.
Simply Eric.
Oh God. Wow, we bounced all over the place.
Yeah,
we should
got
recenter
distracted by
ourselves.
Star Force. So we did CDI stuff.
Yes.
We discussed that. Those are going on. They're super fun.
Onimusha Blade Warriors is loosely in progress. We did like a training mode thing for it, and we're going to do like actual videos for it in the story mode. Not much to say about it. It's a very technical. It's a slow technical fighter as opposed to like Street Fighter, which is a fast technical fighter.
It's been a little fascinating to watch. Like that's been one of the games where I'm like, I gotta go, and you're like, all right, well, Ben and I can do it.
Yeah, and like we only did a versus mode, and then we did training mode. I'm gonna have to watch that video again before we do more episodes because I'm just like, all right, I think I remember some of this. Some of the timing of those is gonna be really rough, but I'm excited. Not much to say about it yet. Relatedly, though, I guess no, I'll come back to that when we get to Twitch, but. Pokemon Sword, I don't know when Ben is getting back from camping. If he gets back tomorrow, then there will hopefully be some Sword. If he's back Sunday, then I don't think there will be.
Oh, he's still camping.
He's still camping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have no idea what's going to happen with that.
Like, why haven't I seen Ben yet?
Yeah, because he's far away.
He's in the woods where I want to be.
Yeah, he's in the woods. Him and Meg and Meg's family are out in the woods.
I want to be in the wood with Meg and Meg's family and Ben.
Right? Hang out with Airbody. Don't you have to record an episode of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Yep. But I'm not going to do an episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then just have that hanging by itself. So,
like if we do a stoppage, we like to have it be a stoppage for a chunk.
Yeah.
And then get back to a regular schedule as opposed to being like, this is ready. This is ready. Another week break. This is ready. Up and then 10 more episodes. Unless
I'm mistaken, and I'm going to check this real quick. So it's funny. I had been kind of internally referring... Okay. I've been kind of internally referring to the post-game as 3 segments. The post-game pre-game, the post-game, and the post-game post-game. The post-game pre-game, when we're done with Onimusha Blade Warriors, I believe within approximately like 6-ish weeks, we will probably be actually into the 2010 to 2018 zone. It really depends on the very last one that we do before we actually properly get in there, but we are quite close to getting that at this point. It's not really an official thing. I've just been, because it was easy to kind of segment those in my head and while I was making the list of the games and be like, here's the ones that came before that, here's the ones during that, here's the ones after that. But it's all post game. But Project X Zone and Namco Cross Capcom simultaneously. My hope is that we can get done with. I think we'll be done with Namco Cross Capcom before then, just because of like, I don't know though, because Project X Zone isn't exactly going to be small either. Those are going to be the holdover. We're going to be done with the entire Mega Let's Play, and I'm still going to be playing Project X Zone. Like that's where we're going to be at with this.
Fingers crossed it becomes a good game.
Oh man,
it looked interesting at the beginning, but
let's see. Yeah, there was originally going to be a video. Is it Project Cross Zone? That feels much dumber than Project X Zone, because at least Namco Cross Capcom, it's literally thing crossing over with thing. So unless a project is crossing over with Zone Industries video game company,
the Project Zone,
Project Cross Zone is dumb, and I don't like it. Granted, I also usually just call it Namco X Capcom.
It's
Also,
like, wasn't there a Kingdom Hearts game that had an X in it, and I thought it was just an X, and then I thought it was a Kai.
Yep.
And then it
So it was
turns out it's
originally
just Cross.
It was originally Union. Oh boy, no, I'm gonna get this backwards. It was Kingdom Hearts. Oh, which one is first? Unchained. No, because there's Union Cross, which I think is what it is now. It was, I think, just Key or Kai, and then it became Unchained Key, and then it became Union Cross, and now it's Union Cross and Dark Road, and the game uniformly refers to them as Union Cross Dark Road because Japan just doesn't give a shit if it makes sense in English anymore.
Smoosh them together.
Oh my god. But yeah, so that's a whole thing. Unchained Key and then Union Cross. Okay. I thought there was an earlier edition of it that was just Key, but I could be wrong there. Oh, it was the browser. Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha. All right.
So confusing to me because Union, Cross, and Kai are all mathematical terms.
Yup. Which may be intentional considering this is also the company that gave us The World Ends With You, where one of the three main antagonists was this math-obsessed weirdo. Zeta Cool and all that shit.
World Ends With You is pretty rad.
So good. I want to see if the Switch version is any good compared to the original. I'm curious how they deal with that one thing that you need to actually physically be playing on a 3DS or on a DS to be able to make work.
Right.
It's probably literally like, so I guess it's a spoiler. It's not really a meaningful one. There's a pig enemy that you can only do damage to at all, and it insta-kills them if you close your DS and open it again, and it just kills it. I would be willing to bet the Switch version, you have to go to the home screen and back, and it does the same thing.
That would be a fine way to reproduce that functionality.
Yeah, it's a similar idea.
I mean, I love stuff like that with, Psycho Mantis.
Oh,
take out your memory card, fake out.
Yeah,
you actually
I
need to
love
take one
meta
out,
shit like that.
So
one of these days we got to do Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem for that exact same reason. The meta shit they do is so much fun. But yeah, so Sonic Riders is going to start up on Monday. Originally, I was going to try to get a video up for it today, but I didn't get a chance to film the intro yet. But I got a good intro coming for it.
That one
so
will be fun.
It's already started to be fun. It's going to be continuing fun.
Oh, it was fun? Okay.
It was Sonic Riders?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it was actually fun.
It was interesting. I was worried coming up on it because I was like, I remembered owning it. I actually owned the PS2 version beforehand, but then was reading up on it. It's like the GameCube version is kind of like the definitive version of the game. It's like, all right, I'll buy the GameCube one. I'll just have both.
There's also something playing I was about to say playing Nintendo properties on a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
But no, it's fucking Sega.
Yeah.
Don't listen to me.
And I want to say the PS2 one's also the most broken version. Like, it's the buggiest. And I'm just like, that game was kind of unpleasant to play the first time around. Let's not make it more painful than it has to be.
It would have been immensely difficult to handle that with bugs on top.
Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be coming on Monday. You can look forward to that. Not much to say about it. It's a very short game.
Yes.
But I don't know where we're at in terms of like overall, like what we're doing with it. So we're going to see how that goes. Kirby Triple Deluxe, we're in the midst of DDD Tour.
The DDD Tour.
Yeah, which is solid. We actually did the entirety of DDD Tour in one sitting, which was a mistake.
We went so ham on Kirby. Like,
oh my god!
None of us could walk after we finished that session because we kept being like, "All right, this probably won't take too much long.
Yeah,
this just we'll blast through it. We'll go from beginning to end, all one studio session." And
because Meta Nightmare and Meta Nightmare Ultra were both like an hour plus, an hour and change, and this was something like, oh my god, I think it was like 2-ish hours,
2.25,
and that's on top of the night before we recorded.
Did we see how long World 6 was in DDD Tour, Alex Britt? Yes. Yes, we did.
Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, was 6 the long one? It was like, oh, I guess 6 was the long one, yeah.
The last one, right?
Yeah. So I thought 7, but it's like, no, 7 is literally the final boss thing.
Yes.
Normally. So, yeah, 6 wound up being like a mess.
Pretty sure we remark upon it as we go along that, like, oh, no, these are getting longer.
Apparently, the speedrun record among the dev team is for the entirety of DDD Tour is under 59 minutes, which is asinine. They must literally have just been like, all right, here is the optimal path. and go.
I'm sure there were some shortcuts we missed, or shortcuts.
There were
that
definitely a
were
few that we
long
missed.
cuts. Like
Yeah.
things that we shouldn't have gone. We just gone to the end of the level or something.
Yeah, we fucked up a couple that would have saved us some time, but
Yeah.
it would have been a couple minutes, and we took 2 hours. So like, we recorded Kirby Fighters multiplayer and then DDD's Drum Dash, and then the next morning we were like, I realized overnight it was like there was a single player mode. Why didn't we even look at that at all? So we went back, did that, and then did DDD Tour, and
so much fucking Kirby.
yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of that. We've got like almost 2 weeks of content for that. That's coming. Sorry, my knuckles just killing me. We got about 2 weeks of that in the can at this point, so we've got quite a lot of Kirby content that's still kicking around. Moving on from there, Resident Evil 0 is underway. We've, I think, met the scary Spaghetti Man at this point.
Oh, Monsieur Spaghetti.
Or
Lord
the
Spaghetti.
Udon Beast, or whatever we're calling him.
Yep.
Yeah. Good Lord. Yikes. Big yikes. I wonder if that's the guy
Maybe
that
don't we? I don't know.
the gas and fire is for.
Um,
If you like put gas down, he walks onto it and you light it up.
after having like thought about it, I mean, I don't think any of us came up with that during the episode.
No.
But I think that's. I mean, they're like the Vine enemies from.
That was my
from
thought. Yeah.
Resident Evil. You're like, oh, they look kind of Vine-like, and you can't smash them hard with bullets, but burning them,
Yeah.
maybe. We
But-
still gotta figure out how to use it. Well,
To CJ's credit, they're not vines. They're leeches. So maybe we're entirely wrong too. I don't know. So.
who
We're just gonna have to,
knows?
or maybe they might also just take a shitload of damage to kill. I don't know.
Yeah, that Noodle Man came out of nowhere. So far in that game, we had not been really challenged much.
That was the
And,
first
like,
legitimate.
Yeah, the only boss we had fought was that Scorpion, whose tactic was step forward once, attack with a claw, step back, step forward once,
Yeah.
attack, and you could just stun lock it. So like suddenly when Monsieur Spaghetti came out of the fucking bathroom stall and just went ape shit on us.
Well, he
and-
was just like doing one of these,
Yeah.
and the camera kept like moving in the middle of stuff. So all of a sudden, the noodle guy is like missing from the shot. I was
Yeah.
like, I can't aim for him if I don't. And like, yeah, it was really,
Yeah. Well, it
really
was just
bad.
that guy, we never even killed him.
No, he
like,
killed us twice. We never killed him.
6 shotgun blows and like
Yep.
18 bullets legit, and it didn't go down. So like
Mm-hmm.
there's a chance.
Yeah, I
that
think
it's fire related.
I think we switched for the 7-shell shotgun in the episode that went up today.
Yeah, SD. I think I don't think it's today's.
I think it was today's.
Was it? Okay.
I think
I
because
haven't watched
tomorrow
today's yet.
we go up against our next boss. I think that's tomorrow's
okay.
episode.
But yeah, I at some point I made a comment of like maybe just grab both shotguns, and then noticed that it looked different than the other one, and we're like, wait a fucking second.
Yeah.
And looked at it, and it's the 7-shot like large clip one. And I don't actually remember if it said anything other than just shotgun,
I don't think it did. No.
and the other one is called shotgun.
Shotgun. It's
So
this game is not very good with
Yeah.
like clarity with the.
We
I mean,
did not
maybe
catch
we
that.
have to examine it, and then it goes like, oh, it's a twin gauge
Oh.
shotgun, and like, oh, a twin barrel shotgun, and oh, this is a shotgun with a chamber or something
Semi-auto,
like,
yeah.
whatever. But yeah, so that's going along okay.
Yeah, Resident Evil Zero's fun so far. It's
Yeah.
God, it's bizarre in a lot of cases, and that's a strange thing to say about a Resident Evil game because they're largely all bizarre. But this one is exceptionally bizarre.
Yes, there's a lot of weird shit. Fucking singing
Oh, there's-
Sephiroth is
I
like.
love singing Sephiroth. Just like he does something and sends
Ah.
zombies, and then to congratulate himself, he has a little song for you. It's, oh, okay.
Like, oh, cool,
That's the kind of villain I like in my Resident Evil games.
nice. We'll see.
Patently insane.
Right? It's like, all right, cool. I'll see you tomorrow, Brad. Just
Yeah.
bye.
I figured out my coding thing.
Just sitting next to him. That's cool, dude. It's just a
Fucking-
semicolon. Who cares?
Brad wasn't such a good programmer. Kick his ass out of here.
I am really interested in wondering at what point, like, how they're going to try to wrap this in a way that makes sense in the world of Resident Evil, because right now it really does not. Also, this one actually still is a remake. This is the Resident Evil 0 HD remaster, in the same way that Resident Evil 1 we did the HD remaster.
Yeah, it's not a
Um,
remake; it's a remaster.
yes.
basically an upscale port, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this one's just a remaster. I guess strictly speaking, Resident Evil for the GameCube was a remake, and that got the HD remaster. And Resident Evil 0 was made around the same time as that, so it had the same kind of bells and whistles for its like normal version and then HD remaster. But yeah, it was a remaster of the remake.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. Yes, this is the closest to an original game we've ever done, and I think when we do Code Veronica, that's going to be even more original, because I think that one's literally just a port to
I don't
modern
believe
stuff.
Code Veronica has been. I think it's in fact one of the games that
Nope,
people.
I'm wrong. There's Code Veronica X, I think, is like the updated version of it.
Oh. All I know is that a lot of people have been clamoring for Code Veronica to be like
To get the 2 and 3 treatment, basically.
yes, to be fully remade, effectively.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been killing it so far with Resident Evil remakes.
Yeah,
So
2.
I've been
I
digging
like
the
2
shit
better
out of
than
them.
3. I liked the look of 3. 3 felt a lot more seamless of an experience than 2, but it felt a little bit to the detriment of the overall gameplay, where it was like, I love that the cutscenes transition into the gameplay back and forth really smoothly. That's really cool. It makes you feel a lot more invested and engaged and immersed into the experience. But the 9th time Nemesis shows up and you have a little chase sequence, it really gets old.
Over it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool. Can we just do this or what? But yeah, so let's see. We did that. Star Force, the first post-game video goes up tomorrow. That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
It's been okay so far. I will apologize in advance, not for this weekend,
Did you cut it down at
but
all?
for next weekend. I haven't gotten there yet, but next weekend will probably simultaneously make people go, ah, and also make people go, ugh.
Yeah.
Because we went and did the thing that we're probably not quite equipped well enough for. We didn't realize that we were
Not
a
so
little...
hard.
Yeah, we didn't realize we were being a little big for our britches.
Yep.
It was mostly we didn't know what the fuck we were walking into. And then it turned out to be way worse. And then we got our asses kicked a lot.
Yeah. I hope some of that gets cut down.
We will see.
We'll see.
But so that'll be a thing. It's something that people have already suggested that we want to make sure to do at some point. I think the critical phrase there is at some point.
Yes.
Like, can you do it right away? Yes.
Sure.
Should you do it right away?
No.
Not really. No, probably not. Not
at all.
not right away. A little further in, like maybe 6 more episodes in, we can give it another shot. But yeah. So
Yeah, you'll find out. We don't want to spoil what it is yet.
yeah,
but
we have the first 4 episodes recorded, so this weekend and next weekend are already in the can. We'll probably do some more this weekend to record out ahead of it. Kingdom Hearts is about to return to the weekend block again. It will no longer just be a free-floating Saturday episode of Star Force all by itself. It'll be joined by Kingdom Hearts again.
Yep.
Excuse me. And so we've got some stuff. We've got a little bit of stuff left for 358 days over 2, but we're about to start Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. And I know nothing about it other than I think the protagonists, I think the playable characters of that game are the 3 characters who show up in that final cutscene from 2. The knights that fight against
Final Fantasy looking motherfuckers.
yeah, that fight against Oldman McGooberman, Old Man Jorgensen.
Yes.
Got real mad at those dang knights who have no problem with their erections.
Aged even faster because of
Just
discounted
anger.
erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
Listen.
But yeah, I think it's the 3 of them who are the Anubis Knight and Anubis Knight's 2 best friends. I think are the main characters of Birth by Sleep, but I don't know that for sure. But we'll also probably know with relative quickness as soon as we start that game up.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know anything about this game, so I'm excited.
Have any of the movie stuff dropped? No. Not yet, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. So that's hopefully going to be this weekend. There's a lot to dig through for that. So
Approximately 3.5 hours of movie.
about 3 hours of movie, but we also talked about it.
Well, yeah.
And stuff. So there's
before and after.
in total, the stuff that I have on hand to dig through is roughly 6 hours of stuff that we recorded that I now have to dig through and make something of.
We
So
had fucking Kingdom Hearts Day.
yeah, hopefully we can get stuff up this weekend. If not, I will make sure that it comes up next weekend, and we'll see. But yeah, there's just a lot. There's just a lot of it. But I'll do the best I can with it. But yeah, Birth by Sleep, that should be coming. If it doesn't come next weekend, it'll come the weekend after that, whenever we're done with this stuff. Ouya Oh No, we are now 60 games in. We are about, I'm going to say 74% of the way through this thing. Mm-hmm. We're going to be doing some more this weekend. That'll be a good time. I need to start organizing the list of best and worst games that we did, so that we can start looking at those and start like
towards the
prepping.
final fight.
Yeah. Not a lot to say there because it's a random selection every time, so there's not a lot to really say about it. So there's that. What else? Twitch.
God, we've played more Ouya than anything else. It's funny.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me, honestly. I'm trying to think of what would even come close. I could see the Genesis coming close,
Classic, Genesis
and
Mini.
Super Nintendo coming close. Beyond those, because we've done at this point over 530 games. I'm just trying to think of like what the next closest one would be. Maybe like Game Boy. Yeah, no, that's mostly like Mega Man stuff. I think Super Nintendo and Genesis would have to be 2 and 3 in some order.
NES, and Genesis.
Oh, and NES and PC. That makes sense too.
Yeah, I'm slowly working up the PC total.
I will not to like throw the game under the bus by any stretch, because I did enjoy it. I just want to, when we did Whispering Willows, I do like it. I was reluctant to give it a gold crown. But I do like it, and we'll see how things go further on along the line. I think I was the most critical of it ultimately when we were doing it, but
I mean, my expectations and what I have seen changed so drastically over the course of filming all the Ouya Onos.
I think it gives some extra context for some of these over time.
A lot of these games early on, I was looking at that compared to Whispering Willows, and I was like, wow, Whispering Willows looks like it's a game with the budget and developers, and these other ones look like they were made for a homework assignment and then thrown up on the store. And like,
but there have been some promising ones in there.
Oh, but there's some games that come along eventually, like Polarity. Polarity looked great.
Yeah, I wish we had more of it to gauge.
Yes,
but
I think that for me is like a gold crown contender, just based on what they did with the graphics. Like, there's so many other games in there that struggle to throw sprites on the screen, and it's like, holy shit, how did you manage to make it clunk that
full
hard?
ass Portal clone, essentially.
But it seems like they actually made an engine, and like that flying around that space one that I forget the name of.
You're gonna have to be more specific than that.
It was the one where you fly around in space and
in
just
the cockpit
run into stuff. Yeah, and it was like actually like space skybox rendered.
Yep.
6 Degrees of Freedom.
I'd have to go back. I was gonna say Duck Game is definitely one that is high up on. Just like I could legit probably play that in like a party scenario for hours.
Yeah,
like without question.
I mean, Duck Game is obviously a very good video game, and the testament to that is the fact that it still exists on other systems. And things. Like a lot of these games, Polarity, for as far as we know, never had a sequel or got ported. I think that might have been an Ouya, or no? Didn't somebody say they found it on Steam or something? For
I think
$5?
Polarity's on Steam. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Well, then that explodes my argument. But my point is, there's a bunch of games that are just one-off, one-shot, like things that exist for the Ouya that to me feel more Ouya-y than Duck Game, because Duck Game happened to come to the Ouya, but it did not, like, that's not where it became famous, and that's not its best platform, right? Like, I'd rather play that shit on PC. Yeah,
it'd be a little cleaner. The controllers is bad.
Yeah,
I don't like using the Ouya controller ever.
Nope. We can avoid it,
and I don't trust the Ouya to properly connect to other Bluetooth controllers, or fucking God forbid Wi-Fi.
No,
I can't believe that it does that. What a terrible idea. Anyway, Towerfall is not going to be in there because we covered that during the original 12 games of Christmas back in the day.
Because again, that's a properly good game.
Yeah, I also don't know if that was an Ouya exclusive, which is what the rest of these have been. I know It'll Do was also on the Wii U. I know Minimon was also on phones. I think Clark was on Steam. I want to say Quiet Christmas might have been Steam as well. Most of the original set of 12 was not Ouya exclusives. Or at least they may have been timed exclusives, but they weren't in the end.
Pretty much anything that's a Unity game, all they would have had to do is press one extra button to export it
export
for
to Ouya.
PC
Or export to
Ouya.
Android, I guess, would be the thing for that.
Yep, that Unity plays on like every platform. So there's a lot of these games that could now be on those things, but if they were released for the Ouya, that counts for me.
As far as the Ouya being a scam thing, it wouldn't. I'm more likely to believe that Mighty Number 9 and especially Red Ash were scams more than the Ouya. I think the Ouya was a perfect storm of naivety.
Yeah.
They thought...
Overpromise, underdeliver.
Yeah, the people behind it, Julie Uhrman and company, I think Ouya is also the name of the company, basically said, it can't be that hard to make a console.
Yeah.
And then made a console. To their credit, they made a console. It does work, and there are games that play well on it. But in their desperation to have as much content as possible, they just dropped their pants in the middle of the town square and said, everybody come get a taste. And they had zero quality control. And I think that was the most damaging thing. I think the controller needed another iteration, both for comfort and for connectivity. I think the games, they needed a green light process for that so badly.
Yes.
Everything else about it was at least constructed enough that they could have made it work, but they fucked up on just enough fronts simultaneously. Then there's like usability stuff, like you turn it on and the first thing it does is ask you for your credit card information. It's like, that's not okay.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with it is that I don't know if the Ouya designers had ever looked at another video game console from history, but almost every console, at least during some point during its life cycle, is sold at a loss.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Yep.
And
some never aren't, just because they make enough from their first-party software that they don't have to worry about it.
The PS3 or PS4 was like a $200 loss for the company for like the first 5 years of its life cycle.
But if they sell enough Uncharted and Sly Cooper and all of their
charging
those are
things.
Yeah, they make enough profit off those that it's very easy to make that money back.
Yes. And the Ouya, I think they expected we'll build something and it'll cost this much and we'll mark it up by 20%, sell it like a normal product, and then everybody will love it. And then they looked at how expensive this was going to be, and they compromised. They were like, oh, well, we can maybe get rid of the actual dedicated NVIDIA chip and instead use an application processor, and it turned out to be a cheap product. The internals are cheap.
Yep.
It's a phone in a slightly larger box.
It really is.
It is. I'm pretty sure it's a Snapdragon processor. Actually, I'm gonna look that up.
I think you're right. Actually, I don't know much about them, but that does sound familiar.
Yeah,
like
Snapdragon was like low power applications processor stuff. They were going into phones and like powered phones for a decade before a lot more options came out. It was the Qualcomm Snapdragon series.
You could pretty trivially build a more reliable, sturdy system that does the exact same thing the Ouya does for roughly the same price using like a Raspberry Pi.
Yes.
And it would be a million times more resilient, more responsive, faster, stabler.
Yep. The chip that powers the original Raspberry Pi, the Broadcom BCM, is a modern realization of what like powered the Ouya. Like it's a all-purpose chip. It functionally can hold an entire computer on one like footprint.
It also came out in like the one little gap in time where it could have potentially survived for as long as it did, which was after the Wii U came out and didn't really get much response, but before the PS4 and the Xbox One came out. So the PS3 and the Xbox 360 were both kind of tailing out. The Wii U had kind of gone, never mind. And so it was like, well, all the first-party companies are doing nothing. This was the same time NVIDIA Shield had its one day in the sun also. Not because the 3DS was suddenly not big, because it never wasn't like doing really, really, really well. But I think that was around the time the Vita showed up and also kind of flared out quickly. And so NVIDIA was like, fuck it, let's get in on this. Well, it's never going to be as good of an opportunity as it is right now.
Yeah.
Which I think everyone got kind of caught flat-footed by the sudden resurgence. Not even resurgence, by the sudden, like, meteoric rise of smartphone gaming. Like, because there used to be cell phone gaming. I had my Motorola Razr, and I had a couple games on it.
Yeah.
But it was nothing even remotely to the same quality as you have now.
Yeah.
And I think that's the number one reason after the PS Vita and the NVIDIA Shield kind of went, that nobody else has shown up to challenge Nintendo. And it's not just because Nintendo's dominant in that market, which they are, and they've always kind of been, but they're not monopolistic with it. Like, they aren't so powerful that you can't survive.
Well, nowadays, if you're like, I want to make a handheld gaming system, a new handheld gaming system, say nothing of the like operating system or the program, I'm going to put together parts that'll be a handheld gaming system. What you will have built in the end is a telephone, a cellular smartphone.
Sure.
It'll just not have cellular, access or data or whatever. It will be all of the internals of that.
Okay.
With no real modification. So like it becomes less of a like do something creative with hardware and more of a how cheap can you sell this for with modern hardware. And like the Switch can't beat it.
Yeah.
It does what it needs to do really well. There's no amazing engineering in the Switch.
It's just cleverly done.
Pick the best, cheapest, most modern like chipsets to use in this. Start selling at a loss, and then over 2 years of production will cut the cost to manufacture the chips and to manufacture these things by 50%. And you get Switch Lite. Oh, there's a new version of this that's 25% less power, which means we can take out the active cooling. So like you're not doing anything fancy or creative. It's just choose the best chip you can. Like back in the day when you had to build your actual like processing units, and like the Jaguar had 2 CPUs that tick-tocked.
Oh my god.
They were called the Jaguar is actually
Tom and Jerry, right?
Tom and Jerry, because Tom always followed Jerry. The cat always follows the mouse in their like clock cycle and stuff. And that was like fancy fucking engineering, which made it a nightmare to program for. But
Saturn did a lot with the it had rectangles instead of triangles as its base component for polygons, which was allegedly horrific to deal with if anyone wanted to port anything.
Yes.
Because they had to entirely reprogram sections.
Get rid of tri-meshes and completely remesh everything with rectangles.
Yep. But yeah, I think
the way, I was wrong. The Ouya is an ARM Cortex A9.
Oh, yep.
So, and then it's built on an NVIDIA Tegra 3, which like, the Shield and a bunch of that stuff. And for a while, NVIDIA was working on like building small, basically smartphone chips that do everything, that do graphics, that do calculation, all that kind of stuff. I have an old NVIDIA Tegra 4 tablet that like was cool for a few months, but after 3 months it was garbage compared to what came out, because NVIDIA needs to stick to graphics cards.
Holy
not,
shit!
like, trying to do system on chip setups.
Good lord.
Yeah.
I'm curious at what point Nintendo's actually going to officially ring the bell for the 3DS, because like they've got I think 2 games in that are being developed for it right now. Like it's obvious that the 3DS is over, and that the Switch is supplanting it entirely, because if it wasn't, if their intent was not for the Switch to replace the 3DS, they would have announced a successor to the 3DS by now. Like, you don't wait until your system has no new games to say, by the way, we're making a new thing. Like, it would have happened a year and a half ago by now.
I mean, the 3DS is just such... I mean, Nintendo's engineers / marketing people / Imagineers are brilliant. Just fucking have nailed it. The 3DS, like maybe the Wii U was a large misstep in terms of the whole weird controller thing. screen, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't even know what they call the gamepad. Is that what it
For the
is?
Wii U was the gamepad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then every DS and the Switch now, they've just like knocked it out of the fucking park.
Yeah. It's been rapidly more incredible every time. And yeah, I guess the Switch Lite, Nintendo kind of markets as being the actual handheld, and the Switch as being
The hybrid
the console that is a hybrid. Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of pointless in my opinion. Like, yes, the Switch Lite is explicitly a handheld console, but it's a Switch. It's a lower intensity Switch.
Yep.
I have to wonder what their plan is, if anything, for what comes after the Switch, whenever that comes around, because generally console life cycles are in the roughly 6-ish year range lately. So and by now they must be at least drawing up some ideas for what comes next.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a question of, do they go back to their console and handheld separate model, or is this what the future of Nintendo is going to be, these weird hybrid things?
I don't know. I mean, it's a very good question. Nintendo seems to have done something nobody else thought of, to do a hybrid console. Like, oh, what a novel idea, to have something that you can pull out of a dock and take with you, but then also dock and have it connected to a TV natively. Like, it would be interesting to me to see if they beef up the whole dock. I'm staring at the Switch, by the way. That's why I'm looking out of frame. If they beef up the whole dock Switch interaction, where if they have possibly like additional compute cores or graphics hardware on the dock, because right now the
dock is plastic.
Yes,
it's
plastic. Plastic with a little 5-volt regulator in there to charge it, and an HDMI output. It's nothing really in there.
Yeah.
But if they wanted to, they could add quite a bit of hardware on the inside of that, like a hard drive that exists in your dock that is actively mounted or unmounted.
Yeah.
So you can have your 8 gigabytes on your Switch itself, but when you put it in your dock,
that's where you can do your like
other 200 or
however much you have in there.
Yeah, and it's so much cheaper to do a bigger SSD or something than to try to cram like flash memory into a Switch. But
so my assumption is that the 3DS will be the last actual handheld, like from the get-go thing that Nintendo does, at least for any foreseeable future. The Switch Lite, I don't like. Again, yes, it's technically a handheld system, but it's a spin-off from this. It's not quite the same. But regardless, we're going to reach a point where essentially the big three just don't do handheld anymore. Like, Nintendo is doing it as a hybrid, but there's not the 3DS, the Game Boy, the Game Gear, the PSP, or any of that stuff anymore.
Nobody does anymore. There's no
because
PlayStation
of phones,
Portable. Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, you've got stuff like you've got stuff like Windows phones. You have stuff like Sony Ericsson and all of these. Is there the possibility that Nintendo, who has been dabbling in mobile gaming in the last like 2-3 years, that Nintendo decides, fuck it, let's try making a phone and just injecting into
phone.
I mean, they could, right? That's kind of how they got at it with like the Game & Watch, and then with the Game Boy was them just going like, it's a cool market you got there. It'd be a real shame if somebody else came in and just owned it.
Yeah,
like,
just fucking destroyed it.
Like, I would be willing to give a Nintendo phone a shot. I'd at least be interested enough to be like, I'll try it once. Yeah. Why not? But especially if they had their own team that was making mobile games, Nintendo has a sterling pedigree of first-party software.
Yep.
So if they were making stuff for the Switch that's meant to be more big, huge budget, AAA, and like large file size and all that stuff, but they were also making stuff that was more akin to Super Mario Run, Pokemon Go, Animal Crossing, Summer Camp, whatever the fuck that one was called. Like if they were doing stuff like that for a phone, like, but obviously if it was a first party phone experience, they could then dedicate more time and energy to that, and also they'd have the specs nailed down in a way where they could really like act on that. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to think about, I guess. Because I wonder how long they'll feel comfortable just doing one thing. They haven't done just one thing since shortly before the Famicom came out, when they were just as far as video games, when they were just doing the Game and Watch.
Yep.
And then the NES came out, and from that point forward, they were always doing at least 2 consoles at a time. They always had a home console, and they always had a handheld console.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Flappy Curb, nice. That's pretty good. Let's talk Twitch.
Okay.
Because we have been in for a while, and oh my god, we've been for a long while, and we hadn't really gotten into Twitch stuff.
9:42 already. Dang.
Antisocial. So, what is the name? What was the umbrella name? I've been calling it Antisocial Social Time, but I can't remember if it was Social Antisocial Time or just some other thing. What you had like a name for it at one point? Your Sunday streams.
Oh. Well, we've been calling it Multiplayer Sundays for a while, and then like social antisocial time.
Damn it!
Like,
I did get it backwards.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And then now I think there's a petition to change it from Sunday YS DAYS to DAES. Because I guess
because of Overcooked, or just
Teddy wants like ice cream branding on it, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess.
All right. I mean, that can happen, I guess.
Yeah.
It'll just be online as like social antisocial time, or
parenthetically,
parentheses, or multiplayer Sundays.
It's weird to look at, but yeah.
My God.
Oh, what was the question though? Just about what's up on Sundays?
Yeah, how's that going?
Good. We
and that's all the time we have for that.
We played Boss Guard for a while, which was fun. Probably gonna revisit it as the developers keep working on it.
It's in active development right now.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It only got like fully released on I think Switch and PC somewhat recently.
Okay.
One of the developers, actually, their official YouTube channel commented on our playthrough of Boss Guard.
Oh yeah,
on
I think
YouTube, saying like, "Wow, it's great to see you guys playing our game."
We've gotten a couple of those recently. Actually, we had a sudden surge of those. I need to reach out. I'm sorry, I don't mean to step all over this. I need to reach out to
Fine.
I'm gonna get his first name wrong, and I feel really bad about it. David Jacklich.
Yeah.
The guy who made a Mega Man for the TI-83 found our video very quickly after it came out, too.
Somebody had a Google alert.
He's got a Google alert going. He must. But he was like, hey, I made this game. If you want to know anything more about it, let me know. Yeah. And I'm just like, what? So, I'm going to have to reach out to him and see how that goes.
It was part of my goal to reach out to the Boss Guard developers, because there isn't that much Let's Play content of it on the internet. Which
is surprising. It seems like a really fun little multiplayer bash.
It's a really well-made little multiplayer battle game. We had a lot of fun with it, and like remote play worked pretty well until you get up to like 6 people, in which case it was a little rockier.
Starts getting a little
That's internet's fault. It's not really the developers. And I hadn't really seen any interviews of them, so like the whole idea of getting in touch with them to be like, yo, do you want to come on a stream? Like, have one of your devs hook up on the Discord call that we record the stream on, and we'll just ask you questions as we play the game.
Yeah.
Just to be like, is this something that your company and the developers would want to do?
That'd be pretty cool.
We would have fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was actually like gearing up. I had most of an email written being like, this is who we are. This is why I'm not a crazy person randomly contacting you. But then we looked at the schedule of when the various multiplayer Sunday peeps were available, and it was like, oh no, 2 of us are gone this weekend, and then the other 2 are gone this weekend, and then I'm gone this weekend.
August into September seems to be a rough time to schedule things with everybody right now.
I had a number of games. I really want to do Stardew soon.
Oh,
I really want to... Because like I still haven't played a proper multiplayer game of Stardew, because once it went multiplayer, I was like, ooh, this would be fun for stream, and just haven't had time to do that. And Overcooked was kind of something we threw together because it was me, Teddy, Jose, and Peter, and we were like, what's something the Chill Squad can do?
Yeah, let's do some. It's just such a chill game.
Yeah, right. The Chill Squad chose the most intense, like, cooperative game.
Oh my god. Yeah, I it's hilarious to me that we made a point of in the Mega Man 83 video being like, nobody knows really what happened to him. He just kind of vanished, and he popped up very short, like I think it was a couple days later. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I actually made that in high school, not in college. If you want to know anything," I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
YouTube's
like,
crazy, man.
that's
Sometimes
so
that
weird.
happens.
So weird. So apparently, all I have to do is say, and nobody knows what Sirocco Jones meant when he labeled his track that he made with Michael Jackson, "The Water."
Bing.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, new notification.
He sent me an email 14 years later.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, sorry, I meant
it'd
to.
be hilarious if you actually hit reply on your
Dude,
old
that'd be
email.
the best thing if it was like the water, and it's
Sorry,
like,
it took me a little while to get back to you.
yeah, sorry about that. I had a kid, and I wanted to make sure they got into college first. Anyway,
Yeah. It's just a quick 14-year gap.
Oh my God.
No worries, Alex. Like, many of us have not been around for Sunday's streams personally, so
Yeah.
I don't blame anybody else for missing them.
Let's see. So Mondays are John doing Trials of Mana.
Yep.
Trials of Mana. Every time I get to that, I'll go Trials of, and my brain will just like flip a coin and go, today it's Mana.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow it's Mana.
If you were to ask me to say HP and mana,
Yeah.
that's how I would say it. If you were to like say read this sentence and it
Yeah.
was Trials of Mana or Secret of Mana, that's
See,
what
for
I would
me,
say.
Secret of Mana.
Don't know why.
My brain always goes to Secret of Mana, not Secret of Mana.
Yeah.
That feels weird. Trials, for some reason, my brain just doesn't know what to do with it. I don't know why. And like, if I have no context, then I go Mana. Same Magic, Mana.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's
Trials of Mana.
yeah, I don't know, but
That's
oh
been
God.
going well. I've watched a couple of his streams, and he's really digging the updated take on the game because
Yeah.
it's a remake. It's not just a remaster.
Yeah, it seems like they're
kind of thing.
restructuring a lot of the story.
The
and
combat is very different.
nice. That's pretty cool. I still have to actually like play the original for more than a single episode of a thing. Actually, no, we didn't do Trials of
Secret of Mana?
that was Secret of Mana.
Yeah.
We didn't do Trials of Mana. And the Secret of Mana was like for the Super Nintendo like classic or whatever.
Yeah. Do we? Yeah. No, we never.
We never actually went. We were considering making that the third Ben learns to love Super Nintendo games game, and we never really followed through on that because we
Yeah.
did Mario RPG and we did Chrono Trigger, and then we never did Secret of Mana because I think at that point we're like, okay, maybe let's cool it on the Super Nintendo RPGs for a little bit.
Back to back to back to back.
Yeah, they do get a little bit. They get a little bit dry after a while, but let's see. Tuesday is me doing Namco Cross Capcom, and buckle up, boys and girls, because we're gonna be playing that till like March of next year.
Forever.
It's gonna be a while. Not a lot to say about it because I've only done one stream. I'm interested in it, and I think I mentioned in my Paper Mario Origami King stream, I'm interested in seeing at what point it feels like less of a button masher, because right now it feels a little button mashy, and there's not a strong distinction between characters right now. And I don't know if there's any kind of element system or anything that's like, oh, this was really effective against that or that or that, or if it's just like, no, you just go up and you do damage.
Yeah.
Like do it like I guess like Shining Force style is kind of like, yeah, you go up and stab them. What? It's like, oh, there's not like a slice type. Like
place
no,
unit
it's
on map, hit with attack.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
or choose magic, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
so. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that one goes. I'm interested in it. It's been. I hope people enjoyed the live intro that went on that. That one was fun. I I was curious if anyone was going to comment on me spinning into frame weirdly at the start of that stream, but no one did. So I'm hoping people got a kick out of how that factored into things.
When it actually went up on the video.
Yeah, when the actual video with the intro went up, because I thought that'd be kind of fun. Also, the lighting looks fucking crisp in that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's some professional, because that's these nanoleaf lights, these hue bulbs, and what's not in there right now, but I had the 4K camera sitting where I usually have the regular 1080p camera for workout for Ring Fit Adventure, and I just pointed it this way, and the colors looked real good, and I really liked it, and I fell in love a little bit, and now I need to do more stuff with these lights.
Oh yeah.
So far,
4K camera is pretty.
it is. We did that with the blue and the white stuff going on. We did the purple light for the end leg of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a dumb acronym I think I thought up like a week before that video went up, and I was like, perfect, we're golden.
Yep.
Anagram, not acronym.
Right.
And then the red one for Shadow the Hedgehog, which was just these lights on full red, and it was super dark in here, and it actually looked so good on camera.
Still picked up.
So yeah, I cannot wait to do more stuff like that in the future. It'll be really really good. But yeah, the chair swivel I thought was just a fun thing to do for that. Like, I originally had planned because I recorded the Onimusha Blade Warriors intro on Tuesday morning, and I recorded the Mega Man Star Force outro on Tuesday morning. And I hadn't finished writing the Namco Cross Capcom one yet. And I was like, all I got to do is like just have a little bit of time after work. And I did not have time. So I was like, shit, I'll do it Wednesday morning. I'll edit it and I'll put that together in time for that. And it turned out fine. But I was actually originally considering if I got the intro edited together, literally starting the stream with just the intro. And then as the clip ends, having my hand over here on the mouse with it already on the thing. So when it turns, like, how bad could it be? Click to new scene, hard cut, and we're just in. Yeah. And I was like, that would have been so fucking badass, but it just wasn't ready. At some point, we will have some kind of live intro that immediately injects into a stream. Maybe Project Letter Zone will do that. Who knows? I don't know.
Playing around a lot more on Twitch lately, especially behind the scenes with upping the production quality and like the stream control elements that I do.
I got to get a little bit more into that myself.
So using Discord screen share, which is lovely. We've been experimenting with having, especially for multiplayer Sundays, having everybody in the stream streaming their screen to me as well.
That's what I did for John's episode of Twilight Princess Picross.
Yeah,
we did Discord screen share, and I was like, I'm just gonna. He just came in with his webcam. I'm like, I'm just gonna screen record the webcam if that's fine. He's like, yeah, that's fine. So
yeah, so we just basically used that, and we did some testing where like in the Genesis 4 was in Zomboid, where if I was like driving this direction and then suddenly 70 zombies attacked somebody over here, I can't get to them in any reasonable time and see what happens. So there was a lot of like, what's happening? And people were like, I'm being killed. And I'm like, oh no.
So being able to switch and be like, all right, let's go to Beans' screen. And then like, okay, here we go. Here's his view.
Having 1 through 6 on the keypad be like overlay a small version of what they're seeing on their screen, maybe with a camera as well.
Which is definitely
like, reporter on the scene. Teddy, here's what he's seeing.
That's
kind of thing.
Definitely the best way to do it for a stream. I had been considering trying to do something like that with like, try to do something with let's say we were. Oh, I forgot the name of it. What is the game that's like 3-player squads?
Apex.
Yes.
Apex.
So, for example, me, you, and Ben. We're doing an Apex Legends thing. All 3 of us set up our computers so that we can record our gameplay as we do it. And maybe one of us is the stream captain and streams just our thing. But then when it's time to put it on YouTube, I now have all 3 streams, and I can just like sit here and edit and like cut to that, cut to that, cut to that, and just do it with that like fine control and be like, what's going on? And then here's Ben who's on fire, like, wait, what happened?
Exactly.
So being able to like do silly shit like that. But I think for a stream version, I think that the way that that's set up for you is like probably ideal, really.
Yeah, and my thought was Teddy could basically take the streams from people. This is complicated, but take the streams that people are putting up into screen share and output a screen share of their streams controlled by him. So then I could actually offload the responsibility that like if I'm hosting and talking with people and also piloting my character and we want to show something off.
You just go, hey Teddy, can you switch us over to Dave's camera for a second here?
Teddy, can you show us Beans for a second and have him do the switching and me just press like picture in picture up to bring up what he is displaying. And if he wants to change it from Beans' camera to Dave's camera to show what's going on, to kind of like, because the idea of playing the game and also controlling that and also interacting with chat, it starts to stack up.
Yeah, and it gets to be a lot at that point.
Without macros or something.
Yeah, so at this point, he becomes camera operator and you become like,
director.
I guess I'd be director, right? Yeah. I'm trying to think of like how that works on like a TV show. Who would actually, because it's not director of photography. I guess that's director. I'm trying to think of who the person in the booth is who's like, all right, go to camera 4. Camera 2.
Yeah, the person making decisions on like, that's a great shot, I want that on screen, and then we'll dissolve to that. Like,
I guess that's probably director. Yeah, because on a TV, well, so I guess it's different for different shows, right? Because like if you're doing like How I Met Your Mother, the director is the one who's out there being like, all right, I want you to go here and do this, and like doing the actual set stuff. I guess that'd be like stage manager basically. But there's a name.
Isn't it a showrunner? Is that what it's called?
No, the show. Well, maybe the showrunner is kind of complicated because the showrunner is also like the lead writer essentially.
Oh, okay.
But the showrunner may also refer to the person who is running the show on the day of.
Yeah. We were referring to it as he was the on-site reporter, and I was the anchor person. Now
that's a good one for that.
A live look at the carnage with Teddy.
To answer the question about Let's Go, yes, I believe that's how John and I are thinking about making Let's Go happen.
Because screen share has improved immensely in the last 6 months. Like doing latency tests on our ends and like the throughput of its image quality and stuff. Even though it's only 720 unless you get Nitro, but that's probably a good reason to get Nitro.
Yeah, I got Nitro for the D-pad server. But if we're doing screen share for like, so the only problem with screen share is as far as I'm aware, there's no way to like. I guess there might be a way to like lock it in. I guess we could have like a private, like screen share, voice chat that's just for us. Like people would know we're doing it, but that's not really a problem.
I mean, we could do it on our Discord and lock people out of the channel unless they're D-pad members with a role, or we could go on Revolution and do it, or we could create a Discord solely for the purpose of screen share, but we want the Nitro should be on D-pad.
We did do a private server for Twilight Princess Picross, but if we wanted to do Nitro, I would have to take it away from the D-pad in order to make that happen, and I'd rather not do that.
Yeah, because in order to broadcast in 1080p, you need to have Nitro. You can receive in 1080p on screen share, but you have to personally have Nitro
in order to send that.
The person who is sending the screen would have to have it. But I mean,
granted though, if we're doing like Let's Go Pikachu or something, John's going to be recording that on his end anyway. It doesn't really matter if the one that comes to me is 1080p. All that matters to me is that John and I have some semblance of the audio sync is the only thing I'm worried about, and and it's the same reason that we haven't had Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog in ages, is because if John and I are doing this remotely, there is a lag between, not as much for Discord at this point, but when we did it before by cell phone. He would be, I forget how we were screen sharing it. Oh no, we weren't. I just sent him the episodes.
And you went,
and we went 3, 2, 1, go.
Yep.
It was nightmarish syncing things up.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a whole thing. But we'll figure it out. We'll try to make it work. And in the worst case, I mean, at some point, John may be able to get time with like Dave and Anthony or something. I feel bad because they were just starting to get a rhythm going.
Yes.
And then everything kind of came undone, and now it's like impossible.
Before COVID, with Dave and Anthony both had job changes.
Yeah,
like
major job changes.
Within like a week of each other, they were both like, "Oh, my schedule is completely different, and now I go different places." And
Yep. What is a bummer, but I hope everyone's doing well on that side. Let's see. Wednesday is back to you again for Divinity.
Yes, Brother Quest. Brother Quest has been a ton of fun. It's a very slow stream in terms of like, it's not high paced kind of action. It's more thoughtful RPG stuff. And Divinity 2 has Divinity Original Sin 2, because it's different than Divinity 2.
Yeah,
has so much to it. So many fun little characters, little side quests and things, and we've been getting through it. Yeah, Alex, that's the I don't know if you've seen them. I'm sure you've heard them at this point.
I've like clipped through them slightly because at one point I was trying to add chapter select to it, then realized like I have no idea.
It's gonna be so hard.
Yeah.
We've had Carnium Pete do recaps basically. Dave's been writing a recap of the previous episode.
Oh, nice.
And we've had Carnium record them at home.
Okay.
And then send us the file, and then
like open with that for the.
We're like, "Hi, I'm Dave, Jeff, blah blah blah." Go through
Nice.
stuff, do initial chats, and be like, "All right, now to remember what happened last time." And I just hit and it voiceovers Pete as we like log into the game and do inventory management and stuff, and It's been see, dude. For VODs especially, I think it's kind of essential, but it's even good for us too because we don't play the game outside of the stream on purpose, but it's sometimes hard to remember what we did 1 week ago. So having a script that Carnium reads we can listen to as well to recap it's been helpful.
Nice.
But yeah, it's going along. We didn't have any Brother Quest this Wednesday because Dave was returning from camping. We're not going to have any. Actually, we're going to have one next week, I believe. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. What day? I'm trying to remember. What day do we actually all come back from camping?
Monday night.
Oh wait, yeah. Okay, we're talking Wednesday stream, not Sunday stream. That was why I was like, wait a minute, what? How does that work?
In my head, I got confused about that. But yes, we will have another Brother Quest Wednesday because we won't have gone camping yet. And then the week after that should be fine because we'll be back. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yep.
Thursday for me is Paper Mario: The Origami King, which continues to be a pleasure and a charm of a beautiful, wonderful, fun game. It broke my heart a little bit when I did Ian's video for Twilight Princess Picross, where he was like, "Yeah, I'm not really feeling Origami King." I was like, "No!"
Right? You're like, "What? How?"
I love it. I'm a big fan of it.
It's super cute. I don't think I would want to play it myself, but it's something that I enjoy watching. Like I understand some of Ian's things. Like I don't need. I like difficulty in my games.
The battles have generally been a pushover for most of it.
I mean, and you're an excellent puzzler, so like
that definitely helps
easily
a
for
lot.
you. Like I was looking at is there going to be a complicated like stat system or some sort of action battle thing? And it's like, oh no, it's a sliding.
It's
puzzle?
so simplistic that it's actually occasionally hard to know what kind of damage I'm going to do.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
But yeah, we finished. We had already finished the blue stream. We started the yellow stream. Then we had to take a detour into like the very beginning of the purple stream. And now we're back to the yellow stream again. And I'm trying to remember what we got to like this casino town, Shroom City, but they're calling it Sniff City. So it's like, ooh, something's going on.
Okay.
But,
it's also been
it's
pretty
the
rad.
first to do the. Oh yes. It is absolutely, as far as I'm aware anyway, the first one to do that thing.
Kill Mario?
Yeah. He was immolated, and it was terrible. But then the game over screen like flips back over, and you start again. So
just restarts
it turns out I've just been very good at Paper Mario, and I'd never seen that screen before.
Wow.
So, yeah, but anyway. But yeah, no, the I didn't even think about the fact that they're all paper, so immolation would be like probably the simplest way
to die
to actually do that. Yeah.
Yes.
It is the first game to have you drive a shoe through the desert, as far as I'm aware. Maybe I wouldn't be. It's
got to be a Mario level that's a desert that has a shoe in it.
Yeah, probably actually
amongst all of the Mario games.
Oh. But yeah, I do like that Origami King is like more of a puzzle adventure game with RPG elements than it is an RPG game with puzzle and adventure elements.
Yes. Which like I'd prefer it the other way around, but that's me. But it's still charming and beautiful. It's such a beautiful game. God damn.
The hardest thing for me with RPGs is if the battles don't get more interesting, then they do get very repetitive very quickly. Mm-hmm. Like if it's all the same thing all the time, then that can be a trick. But yeah, so that's going well. We are, I guess, we're probably around halfway through the game, maybe a little under. We're probably 40 to 50% somewhere. So that's going pretty well. I will hopefully have that stream up tomorrow night. I meant to have it up for tonight and then completely spaced because I have to like make a thumbnail and do a bunch of things. So the thumbnail actually takes a while for that like fractal looking number situation that's in there. Not fractal, crystal looking thing.
Oh, okay.
And then Friday is XCOM 2. Sorry, I have an itchy shoulder.
X-Bomb.
Which there's not any this week because we're doing this, and there's not any next week because we'll be camping. So I think XCOM 2 will be back on, let's see, the 11th of September. I think. Yeah. I think that's how that works. So that'll be when that comes back. Not a lot to say otherwise. And then I think that's it for stream-related stuff right now. Yeah, not a lot else to say there. I'm trying to think if there's any other stuff that we are forgetting, but I'm looking down the very, very large list, and I don't see anything. Yeah, no. So we'll see how that all goes. Any questions from you guys? Oh yeah, we could talk about El Tango de la Muerte. I can say words.
Oh yeah,
El Tango del Mort.
I love that game.
I'm gonna start calling it El Tango del Mort from now on. Del Mort. No, that game was cool. I think I wish it was a little bit tighter in terms of timing. It was occasionally a little slippery in terms of like how everything lined up, and I couldn't tell if that was because the game was programmed that way or if it was because there is a delay, a very tiny delay in our system, and maybe that's making problems.
It's just enough, I think, in some ways. Like having played it like elsewhere,
yeah,
it seemed pretty on to me. But again, we were kind of in and out with El Tango de la Muerte on purpose.
Yeah,
it's like I think I've mentioned it already, but I was like, Rick, I want to do a game, and he was like, okay,
yeah, let's do it.
Like, I promise it isn't like 92 hours.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, how many hours is it? And I was like, 2.
He was
and
like,
he was
no,
like, oh,
right. Yeah, we'll do it this weekend. Fuck it.
Super
So,
doable. So
yeah.
that was the hope, to like bring something that was like bang bang out.
And I think we're going to try doing that with a little bit more, not necessarily regularity, but like we're going to try to filter those in now and then, sprinkle them in when we get some time.
Pepper
And
a short form game in.
which again will get easier as Pokemon Sword gets completed, Pokemon Pikachu and Eevee gets completed, Zelda gets completed, Ouya gets completed, Ring Fit Adventure gets, like, as all these things start to filter out, we'll have more time for just kind of randomly grabbing stuff and going like, oh, hey, wouldn't this be really cool? I just downloaded half the damn games from the previous Switch Indie Partner Showcase thing, and I kind of want to do a bunch of those because they look adorable. So, like, who knows with some of that, but...
oh yeah, Rick's call of, I bet these are like people he knows in the photographs.
Oh yeah,
and then it turns out, yes, actually that was his mother and father.
Yeah,
but
and it was like like the ending seemed to indicate quite strongly that was the story of his parents.
Yes, somehow I don't think his mother was actually a prostitute, nor do I think that his father actually killed people. Because if so, like, that's a pretty bad way for a murder rap to come out.
I mean, I don't know if you saw the
video.
I don't know if you saw the photos at the end that also showed those same people were quite old. So this would have happened presumably like 60 years ago, and this also assumes that these folks are still with us today, which they might not be.
That is possible, I suppose. Yeah.
Also, statute of limitations. That's a fair point, actually. I have no idea.
It wasn't true on Steam. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't true. Interesting. Okay, fair enough.
That's
very convincing then.
Yes, that in my mind is even better, because you're just using photos of people he loves and then inventing a pulpy 1920s.
And then the little angel brother flapping off in the Julio, la 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 la, bye.
Julio.
El Tango de la Vida. But yeah, so that was a fun time. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and my goal and hope was to throw something new and kind of random out and to see how people reacted.
Mm-hmm.
And the reactions, I think, were like, oh, this is neat, and it's done.
Yep.
Like, it was neat enough to watch for a couple episodes, but not have to engage for 15 to actually get the story rolling or commit to 2 months of watching a thing to finish out everything. So the idea of, like, tight, small little games like that, I think could be a lot of fun to do in the future.
Yeah, and I have one or two that I've been kind of eyeballing as possible things to do there as well.
Dope. Steamy, let's.
It's funny. There was a time a while back where I wanted to do a series on the channel. This was literally, I think, as far back as when we were just doing Zelda and Pokemon before Mega Man came around. But I wanted to do something called Full Steam Ahead. That was literally like a once a week. Like, just pick a random Steam game, literally could just be random, and start playing it and see how we liked it. And then, oh my God, Sarah's here.
It's a Sarah.
And then at some point, I think around that time was when Game Grumps put out Steam Train. And I'm like, well,
Yeah,
not like they've
changed that.
not like they completely own the concept of playing Steam games, but boy,
Yeah, boy, does that take the wind out of your sails.
Yeah.
not to mention at the time that was the first and for many years only time someone outright in the comments was like, "Oh, so you guys are just a knockoff Game Grumps then, right?" And was like, "We've been around for yeah, we were there before them. Fuck it."
We've been doing this for longer and worse.
Oh man, a few LPs in the channel did end up being branded Full Steam Ahead by me or by them, because there's definitely a chance that I just kind of went with it at certain points. I'm trying to, because I don't remember.
The Steamy Let's Play. Wait, which one's the Steamy Let's Play?
It's where we play PC games.
Hot.
It's oh my god, what the hell was?
Best.
Oh
Is that
god.
where we only play the weird sex games that Holly sends us on Steam?
Oh Jesus. Yeah, that'll end well.
That literally would be
I
the
mean-
steamy Let's Play.
I'm just saying,
Spirit
this
Tracks.
is a real option, right? Like, Holly sent me a few. We could do this.
Oh yeah. So you know
Fantasy
what?
Ball gag Princess Adventure.
Maybe we
Now
might
on
retroactively
I mean,
make
she did literally send me. It was it's called Honey Pop, and it's like about seducing the girls, and like you literally
Yeah.
once you've successfully seduced them into like going home with you, it then becomes do the match 3 game fast enough that they take off all their clothes and orgasms.
Yeah. Nothing offends me more than putting match 3 on top of anything else. They're
No,
like,
it's literally just a match 3 game. And she also tried to sell me on Honey Cam, which is the partner game to it, where you're literally managing a cam girl empire and just like it's like, oh, people are into, chubby cam girls this week. Better jigger who's on the camera. Like, I'm like, Holly, why do you send me these things?
Oh
Holly
my
plays so
god.
many legit difficult games, and then she's also a huge fan of weird
Yes.
sex simulation games.
But Max Gentleman's Sexy Business is actually good and like full of good, positive, sex positive goodness. So, flirt.
I might retroactively throw El Tango de la Muerte onto Full Steam Ahead if that was a thing that we did follow through on. I thought we didn't, but that was also Lethal RPG War and Mushihime Sama were both given to us. We had a connection with a person who was like working on like hey, Steam codes directly from the developers kind of thing, and then it kind of fizzled after 2, but it was originally going to be a much longer thing. And what?
Oh yeah, she also played the My Boyfriend
God.
is a Sword video game as well.
Holly, I would believe that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Oh man. Well, unless there are any last questions, we should probably wrap this up. We've been at this for over 2 hours now,
Yeah.
so
We tend to just start rambling and chatting once we just get up here and sit down. We're like, all right, well, we keep this tight,
I mean,
go
so
through
are
all
most
the points.
of the girls in most of those kinds of games. So, turnabout is fair play. I don't, still kind of weird.
Ramble pad is best pad. Well, I appreciate that.
I mean, that's kind of what you pay for when you do for the Patreon stuff, is you get to come watch the Ramble Pad and make us ramble
Yeah.
about whatever you want. That's your magic power. You post things in the chat, and then we ramble about them.
Yes. And on that note, it's the end of the stream.
probably would have been good to end it 5 minutes ago. In fact,
Yeah, right.
Well, you say that just because you don't love me.
nope,
Obviously.
nope.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah,
See,
that's.
nobody basically speaks the truth.
We'll see you guys later. If anyone out there watching this after the fact wants to join in, remember patreon.com/dpadfm.
If only if you want to be cool, though.
Do that.
And then we'll see you guys. I think September 25th is our next one of these. So we'll see ya. Have a good one.
Bye, friends.
Bye.